Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing my monthly favorites, and I'm going to begin with a couple pieces of skincare. This first one is from Josie Maran. It's the Ultra Hydrating Whipped Argan Oil Face Butter. I do have the full size, but I've been trying to go through this little sample. I tried this, gosh, I don't even remember. This was sent to me complimentary in a little sample packet a couple months ago now. I tested everything out, fell in love, and then I purchased the full-size cream during, it must have been the fall Sephora sale, because I just fell in love with the texture. It's incredibly rich and hydrating. It truly is ultra hydrating, just what it says. But I took this with me when we were in Pennsylvania a couple weeks ago because I knew it was going to be really cold, and I figured this would be perfect. And everybody in my family used this moisturizer because it is just so good. One of the nights we were there, it went down to 7 or 8 degrees, so it was very cold, and we were spending a lot of time outdoors doing outside activities, so it just takes a toll on your skin. And this was a game changer. Everybody used it, everybody loved it. I was going in with sometimes 2 and 3 applications, and my skin was just drinking it up, and it felt so good. But even since we've returned to Miami, I've still been using it. I also love that it's fragrance free. It doesn't have a very flowery, beautiful smell, but it doesn't smell like anything. It feels incredible, but I don't feel like I'm putting fragrance on my face or chemicals, something that shouldn't be there. I believe this is a Clean at Sephora brand. Now, it is incredibly rich, so if you have normal to oily skin, even combination skin, this probably isn't going to be your favorite moisturizer. I would steer clear, but if you have really dry, parched skin, this stuff is amazing. A little bit goes such a long way. But even the last couple weeks in the hot, humid climate, it already feels like summer outside. It's been fine. I don't know if my skin has adapted to it, but I am really loving this moisturizer. I haven't had any breakouts, no issues with my skin, but it feels incredibly hydrated. This next skincare item I just ran to grab out of my shower. It's from Saturday Skin, their Rub-A-Dub Refining Peel Gel. I had worked with them on a campaign to help promote their Sephora sale a couple weeks ago, so they sent me over a couple products complimentary. And I had never tried the brand previously, but I fell in love with a lot of the products. But this one in particular was definitely a standout, and it was perfect timing because I had just ran out of my Dr. Brandt exfoliator. So I needed a new one. I thought about replacing that one, but this one I almost prefer because it's not really gritty at all. It's not very grainy. It's very gentle because it's not just a physical exfoliator. It has fruit enzymes and botanicals in it, a lot of really great ingredients for the skin that help to remove that top layer. But if you do prefer a more intense exfoliation, you can just wash your face, kind of pat dry, and then go ahead and massage the cream around your face. You'll feel it a little bit more. It makes your skin feel like you just had a facial, true baby skin, just so soft. And getting rid of that top layer is so important because that way all of your skincare ingredients can penetrate deeper to the skin. And I really love the price. I think this is one of the most affordable exfoliators I have ever used. I have one more skincare product here to talk about. This was also sent to me complimentary a while ago. I always try to remember to tell you if it was sent to me. Doesn't mean the video was sponsored or anything like that, but I do get gifted quite a bit of stuff. I'll always tell you if I remember, but it's from the brand St. Jane. These are the C drops. It's this vitamin C serum oil is how I would describe it. It's really nice. It goes on and it just kind of absorbs into the skin. It feels really lightweight, more like a dry oil, but it has tons of vitamin C, so it's going to help brighten the skin. I used this before my makeup in a demonstration, I want to say last week, and it just left my skin feeling so incredible, really nice and smooth, but it gives you a very natural glow, which is perfect in the mornings or underneath makeup. It also would be really nice in the evenings as well, so I think you can integrate this seamlessly into your skincare routine, whether you prefer mornings or evenings. I've been on a face oil kick lately. I've been testing out so many new brands, trying to figure out which one is my favorite. This is definitely one of my favorites, but it's great as not just a last step of your skincare routine, but you can integrate it into your makeup routine as well. It's one of my favorite foundation hacks, is to add a little liquid illuminator and a beauty oil or a face oil to the foundation, mix it together, because it helps to prevent the foundation from drying out later in the day. It also goes on really smooth and even, and you won't get any of those little flakes or cracks, and it doesn't look cakey. Moving right into makeup, I'm going to begin with complexion products. This is very exciting for me because I have found a new holy grail foundation. It's the new Guerlain L'Essential High Perfection 24-Hour Wear Foundation. I know this was originally only available at Selfridges. I'll have to double check. I'm sure at some point it will be coming to the US. I'm just not sure when. I really liked the original L'Essential foundation, which has a little bit more of a glowy finish. It's a bit more hydrating. That foundation, one of my favorites. This new version is incredible. Now, let me specify, because this isn't going to be for everybody, I really like coverage. I like coverage and I like a matte finish, especially for just the hot, humid climate. The natural to natural matte works really nicely for me. And for photos, I think this is really beautiful. Filming YouTube videos most every single day, several days a week, I like to have more of a full face of makeup. If I'm taking pictures for Instagram or showcasing products, and I want to do my makeup really special, I like a foundation that has more coverage. It doesn't break up. I don't have any issues with it. It doesn't crease, settle. It doesn't accentuate fine lines or texture on the skin. It really is very perfecting. So I'm loving this foundation. I would put this in the same boat as maybe a Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless, that level of coverage and perfection. So if you don't like that, if you want something a bit more natural, this just isn't going to be it for you. If you really love that highly perfected full coverage look, you should try this foundation. I think you might really like it. I've also tried this with a liquid illuminator mixed in, so you can absolutely sheer it out if you do prefer something with a little bit less coverage. Overall, this is a 10 out of 10 for me. I've been grabbing this constantly. This next product is very new. I think I've only been using this for maybe 2 weeks now. It's from COSRX. It's their new Cloud Set setting powder, and I wear the shade Breezy. I really like this setting powder. It is perfection. This works really nicely with that Guerlain foundation. It's so lightweight. It just kind of sets your face. It doesn't leave you too matte and dry, but it definitely sets the makeup. Makes me feel like it's going to last a really long time. It has liquefied skincare baked into the powder, so it's not going to dry out your skin, which is great. I thought this might be a bit too heavy. I was thinking it would be just the powder version of the bronzer, but that is not the case. It is so finely milled. You can barely see it on my finger whenever I try to swatch it. You really have to get in there to build it up at all. Even then, it's just very faint. So fine. So you do have to be careful. I can see there's a little bit of a crust starting to form on top. I know I've mentioned this before. Anytime you have a very fine, very sheer powder, if you have oil from your face that gets on the brush and you dip into the powder, that's what creates that crust. So just something to think about. You want to make sure your brush or your sponge, whatever you're using to apply, is completely dry. Otherwise, you're just going to be scraping off the top. I have another Guerlain product here to talk about. I have a few Guerlain products this month, actually. This was a great month for Guerlain. Their spring collection was incredible. So here I have the Meteorites. This is Pink Pearl. I also picked up the Pearl Glow, I believe it's called. I couldn't find it in the drawer. I think I set it aside somewhere, maybe to take photos, and I can't find it at the moment. It's not lost, don't worry. I need to keep these in a vault somewhere. They were so hard to get a hold of, but I was able to place an order for the Pink Pearl. I purchased mine from the Harrods website, and it was very unfortunate because I had picked up, what else did I buy? I think maybe I picked up the lipsticks and the lipstick cases from Harrods as well, maybe a week before. So I paid that $30 shipping twice from Harrods within a week of each other. It was ridiculous. Do not recommend. 1 out of 10, terrible experience. I wish Harrods would do what Selfridges does, which is to offer maybe like a one-time flat fee for the year and then go ahead and give you free shipping. I like to use Pink Pearl as a blush or a blush topper, and it just gives the most beautiful, ethereal, angelic glow to the skin. Another one of my favorite blushes last month is the blush that I'm wearing today. This was sent to me complimentary. It's from Laura Mercier. It's one of their new shades. This is Passion Fruit. The perfect, light, peachy pink. It is just so effortless on the cheek. And it doesn't look like it has any sheen in the pan, but every time I apply it to the cheeks, I feel like it has a very, very subtle glow to it. No shimmer, no little flecks on the cheeks, but almost like it reflects light a little bit more than if it was just a flat matte blush. I love the shade. All of the new shades are really beautiful. They're also all very fair. So if you prefer something a bit deeper, more intense, or you have a deeper skin tone, I would look at the rest of the range that already exists. The new shades might not work for you. I remember last year at this time I was living in my strawberry and peach blush from Laura Mercier. Those are 2 of my other favorites. And this spring summer I know I'm going to be living in Passion Fruit. It's just too perfect for light, kind of fresh-faced makeup looks. My favorite highlighter from February is the new Pearl de Lumiere Illuminating Blush Powder from Chanel. This is part of their spring collection. It is so beautiful. Definitely one of my favorites in my entire Chanel highlighter collection. I can say that now for certain because I created a video where I swatched them all. I pulled them all out. I was kind of looking at all of them side by side. It's rare that I ever compare my entire collection like that, but this is one of the best, because it almost gives the skin a wet look. And I am wearing it today. I don't know if you can really tell. I think it just has the prettiest tone. I applied so much blush right here. I probably covered some of it up by accident. You almost think it's going to look kind of peachy gold on the skin. I guess it depends on your tone, but on me, it just looks like my skin is wet. It's kind of the perfect color for me. I just think it's really nice. I have so many highlighters. I don't need to buy another highlighter for the rest of my life, and yet anytime Chanel comes out with a new highlighter, I want to buy it because it's special and it's limited edition. So I'm very happy. I'm also very pleased that the color is really beautiful. It's not just the beautiful design on top, it's just a special highlighter. Highly recommend, especially if you don't have an extensive collection and you've been maybe on the fence about whether or not this is really worth getting. It's beautiful. Moving on to eyes, I have a couple products to share, including this new Pat McGrath Labs eyeshadow quad. I'm wearing this on my eyes again today, and it is really beautiful. I was so happy because I wasn't sure. I loved the look of her entire collection, the Divine Rose 2 collection she came out with. She re-released the Divine Rose 2 and then the highlighter and all of the lipsticks and the eyeliners. It looked so beautiful, but I already have so many pieces. I almost skipped this. Once you start acquiring a lot of larger eyeshadow palettes, there's not a lot that's going to come out that you couldn't duplicate. So realistically, I probably have all of these shades maybe just within my Pat McGrath Labs eyeshadows, let alone any other brand. But what I like about it is that it's a quad, it's complete. If I were traveling or if I wanted to create a quick, easy look, I could pull this out and I could create something using just this eyeshadow quad. You don't need to pull out a ton of different palettes. This works on its own. I'm really happy with the quality. It lives up to the expectations in my opinion. I'm always really happy with the makeup look whenever I use this palette. I know some people are sick of pinks, but even if you don't use this pink, you have 3 really pretty shades right here. All 4 of the shadows are really stunning as well. So this is just the perfect eyeshadow quad. I don't need any more eyeshadows, but I am happy I added this to my collection. An eyeshadow quad that is not on my favorites list is the palette that came out with the spring collection from Chanel. It was pretty, better than I expected it to be, and I'm very happy with it. I will continue to use it, but it's not a favorite, and it's not something that I think you have to have or you have to add to your collection. I was much happier with the Stilo Ombre A contour sticks. Now, this took me by surprise because expectations were so low. Well, expectations were low of the palette as well. It was prettier in person than I thought it was going to be, but I really like both of these. I pulled out Beige Perlé. I also picked up the Burgundy, and they're really beautiful. Now, I don't use these as an eyeshadow. It's supposed to be an eyeshadow, liner, or kohl. You can kind of smudge around the eyelid if you want to. I'm pretty particular with my eyelids. I don't like to do too much excessive smudging if I don't have to, but I think this formula is a bit softer than the Stilo Ombre contour sticks that I'd tried before. Those were a bit harder and not as easy to blend, so I always felt like I was tugging my eyelid, which is a no-no. I've been using this as an eyeliner and just sticking it in the waterline, and it just completes the eye look because it's not too dark. It has a slight metallic finish, very pretty. I love this Beige Perlé. I've been using this almost every day. And the last eye product I have to share is a game changer. I just started using this. I already know it's going to be one of my favorite products of the entire year. It's the Anastasia of Beverly Hills Brow Freeze Brow Styling Wax. Oh my goodness, I have not skipped a day since I picked this up. For the longest time, I was on the hunt for the perfect brow gel, something to just set my brows in place because nothing worked. I like to fluff my eyebrows a little bit, nothing crazy. They're not that big and bushy. I wish they were, but they're not. But I still like to brush through them and comb them up, and I want the hairs to look really voluminous. So you need something with some grip, or else they just fall back down. Even if they start like this, within maybe 30 minutes, they're like, they just fall to this side. I do really like the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Gel. That is an incredible brow gel, but this kind of takes the cake. I think this beats any brow gel that's out there. Hands down, one of the best new beauty products of the year, and I never want to go without it. I will always make sure that I have a backup and a backup to the backup because there's just nothing better. For lip products, I have 4 lipsticks here that were my favorites from last month. These 2, I believe, are sold out, unfortunately. I'm not sure. I will have to double check. If I can find them anywhere, I will link them down below. I picked up both the Pearl and the Pink Pearl lipstick cases. This is from the Guerlain collection. These were so beautiful, and I want to say the name was Pink Glow and Nude Glow. Both of them are kind of sheer with a sheen, which I've never really been that into, but these Guerlain lipsticks are incredibly flattering. I was on a low buy, trying to be on a no buy, but realistically put myself on a low buy, and this was one of the first purchases I made for 2021. So not off to a great start, but I have no regrets because I feel like these lipstick cases I can hang on to forever. They're stunning. No regrets purchasing the case, and the lipsticks I needed to put in the case. I didn't really have a choice. I had to pick up both shades, and I think both of these are stunning. The Nude Glow is really nice with the gloss on top. It looks so natural, kind of sun-kissed beauty, as if you're wearing nothing, but it's incredibly glamorous at the same time. So I think both of these are really nice. I wish they would just come out with more products or launch more at once, so that they would be widely available. And then the other 2 lipsticks I have are Chanel. This isn't new, but I wore it a lot last month. This is the 61 Continuous Rouge Allure Lac from Chanel. Just a really pretty peachy nude color. I think this has been my favorite. It's definitely my go-to. And then I also really like the lipstick that came out with the collection, 496 Tendresse. It's a very beautiful pink lipstick. Kind of the perfect everyday pink. That's all I have for makeup. I do have one hair care product that I want to mention because it is somewhat new to my hair care routine, and I recently did a video where I walked through my wash day routine step by step, and I listed my top 10 must-have hair care products. I will link that video down below in case you missed it. It is worth checking out. I have tried just about every hair care product under the sun, but this is the most genius product. It is a dry mask. So it's the Overnight Bond Building Dry Hair Mask, Antisocial, from IGK Hair. And all you do is give it a nice shake, And you can use it as a finishing spray. You just kind of spritz it on. It smells amazing. A little bit like coconut. It smells like the salon. And it helps to prevent breakage on your hair. It helps to build the bonds overnight. So you can spritz it on before you go to bed, or you can just use it as a finishing spray, and that way you're treating your hair instead of using hairspray or something that could be damaging or drying out your hair. I love this idea because most of the time if you're doing a treatment or a mask, you have to also be washing your hair, or you have to wet the hair, and it ruins the style. So it becomes a whole high maintenance process, whereas this you can just spray and go anytime it's convenient for you. And finally, I have fragrances. I picked out 2 favorite fragrances to talk about today, but I recently did a video where I talked about my current favorites. Those are all still my current favorite fragrances. I'm kind of rotating between them, but these 2 are so special. They're worth talking about again. So the first one is from Penhaligon's. This is Changing Constants. I picked this up in January when I was shopping in Orlando. It was the first time I ever found myself at a Penhaligon's fragrance counter, and I was smelling around and trying to discover something new, and it's such an interesting brand, and I had heard people talk about this house before, but I just didn't really know anything. When I smelled this fragrance, it kind of stopped me in my tracks. I knew then this is the one that I'm taking home because it is not only incredibly beautiful, but it is so different. It is so different from other fragrances I have in my current collection. Changing Constants is amazing. I love the bottle. It's very unique. Each of these fragrances has a character and a little story. It has such a fine mister. I love that. So beautiful. To me, this is a little bit more fall-winter. So I don't know how much I'm going to wear this fragrance going into spring-summer. But it's light enough. I think this could be a daytime fragrance, or maybe even a date night fragrance for spring-summer. Keynotes include pimento and cardamom, a heart of salted caramel, and cashmere, tobacco, and vanilla in the base. When it dries down, I get so much of the salted caramel, the vanilla. It's not overly creamy and it's not overly sweet. It doesn't smell like a really sweet gourmand baked goods type of fragrance, but there's kind of like a spiciness and almost like a minty fresh quality right off the top, but I get a lot of that salted caramel. Those 2 things sound like they are polar opposites and they shouldn't mesh well together, but the composition of this fragrance is very elegant, it's very special, and it's just different. Kind of piques your interest because you think, ooh, what is that? I haven't smelled that before. Last but certainly not least is the fragrance I've been calling my new signature scent. And if you watch my videos, you already know what's coming. It's Greenwich Village from Bond No. 9, New York. This is my first Bond fragrance purchase. Hard to believe, but it has already set me off on a journey. I'm discovering more Bond fragrances, and I think my next purchase will probably be Tribeca from Bond. Very beautiful, feminine, luxurious, but Greenwich Village is so addictive and intoxicating and nearly impossible to describe, and there's just something about it. Spray over here. Ugh, so nice. It's perfect. This is the perfect fragrance. It's really beautiful. I think this fragrance could be worn anywhere, anytime, any place, daytime, evening. It's kind of mysterious because there's not one thing that really stands out. It's not really floral, it's not overly sweet, it's not woody. It's just the perfect combination of everything. It's very feminine, really sexy, it smells very luxurious. I love it, and anytime I've worn this out around other people, I always get a ton of compliments, and people always ask, what are you wearing? What is that perfume? It definitely turns heads. That completes my list of February favorites. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave me your comments, questions down below. I love hearing from you guys, so be sure to share your February favorites down in the comment section. As always, I will be linking everything mentioned, everything on my face down in the description box for your convenience. And for more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.